everyone, and thank you for joining me today in Deck the Halls DIY Studio. We are going to be creating our door hanger. So we have two options or two designs that we will be talking about today. The first design is this door hanger shape with the wreath and the word hello. And then the second one is the same shape. It says welcome to our home, and it has spots for the switch plates for you to have interchangeable plates on there for different holidays or seasons. So I will be going through how to create both of these in this tutorial today. So make sure you have your kit ready or prepared. So you'll have your door hanger, which is this large shape. You will, if you selected to make the wreath door hanger, you'll have your wreath, your hello stencil, or a different stencil if you chose a custom design. You will have sanding paper, sponges, the painting sponge, and then the dabbing sponge. And then you will have your cups of paint. Optional tools would be to have an X-Acto knife or a safety pin or something to pull out the insides of your letters once we put down the stencil. If you have the other kit, the switch plate door hanger kit, you'll have your door hanger, which will be plain. You'll have your stencil that says welcome to our home. You will have Velcro. You will also have the plates that you registered to create with. So you should have all of those things, and then you will have the sandpaper, the painting sponge, the dabbing sponge, and then your paint colors. And again, your optional tool would be your X-Acto knife or something to help you get those insides of the letters out. I did forget to mention that if you have the wreath sign, you'll also have a little piece of wire, and we'll talk about that after we get painting. So again, thanks for joining Deck the Halls DIY Studio to create your door hanger today with us. Your door hanger is ready to be painted. It has been sanded and prepped for you, so you really just need to start painting. I have paint in the bottle. I'll just put over on the side of my paper here. And you have paint in a cup, so you can just take your large yellowish orange painting sponge, dip it in your paint, and then you will proceed to paint your entire sign. Today I am going with this pretty pink. We have a white front door. The person that I might gift it to has a white front door, so I can't do white. But when you paint, you're just gonna paint back and forth, and you're gonna decide, you're probably wondering about this groove. And you can decide if you want to paint in there or if you want to kind of just go over it and leave it as a wood accent. Either way is fine with us, right? Because this is the DIY, this is your project. So you have options with that. We do give you 3+ colors of paint. So maybe you wanted to paint that inner part another color to give it your sign an accent, and I can show you what that would look like. So as you can see on this sign, we did teal on the inside of that groove. Okay, so you could choose to do something, another color in there. And to paint in there, I would recommend grabbing a Q-tip, or we do have little brushes that we did include as well, which they're little makeup brushes that you can use to get along on the inside of the crevice. So you'll just continue painting and then let this dry in its entirety before we proceed to the next step. All right, so we're back. We've completed painting our door hanger in whatever color you chose. I chose not to paint my groove, but you could. And then you will want to make sure you painted your edges. That side, the side of your sign will be visible. So make sure you double check that. Next, if you have the sign that has a wreath, okay, you can put your wreath kind of where you have 2 holes. You will have your wire. So you're going to take your wire and make it into a U. And you will stick that U onto your wreath. And then you will find your 2 holes here. And you will stick your wire through those 2 holes. And then pull it tight from on the back side. And then you will take it, holding it from on the front, and you will twist your wire together. If you have a pliers at home, you might want to use like a needle nose pliers or something to help you, but now your wreath will be secured. You can fluff your wreath if you want. You can also wait till the end to do that. But these wreaths are gorgeous, and we have a lot to choose from too. We're gonna get started with our stencil, and the reason why I have you put your wreath on before you put your stencil is so that you make sure you have your stencil in the correct spot. So my wreath is attached. I'm gonna set my sign to the side for a moment so that we can talk about how to pull up our stencil and get it applied to our board. I did forget one step, so come back to your board here quick. You are going to want to take your sanding paper and you're going to want to lightly sand across the bottom of your sign. Nothing crazy, okay? Very lightly sand across the bottom of your sign, and then you can wipe it off with a rag or a paper towel or something to get the dust off, okay? And you just want to lightly sand there. Now you'll be ready to apply your stencil, so you can put that aside. Okay, your stencil. Take it and rub your hands over it just to re-stick the transfer tape. So this clear is transfer tape. Okay, you're gonna flip it over to the back side. I generally smooth it out one more time. And now we're going to begin peeling up this white paper. So we're going to start in the corner. And we're going to make sure that our blue sticks to our transfer tape and the white comes up clean. So I leave it on the table and I will pull it back at an angle. Okay? And I kind of crease as I go because if any part of the blue pulls up, like right here, you can see that my blue came up. I'm going to use the white paper to kind of push it back down and then continue pulling up. Here it came up again, so I will push it back down and then I will peel it off. Now this is garbage if you choose to throw it away or if you want to use it to dab. This is a giant sticker, so don't stick it to itself, okay? You'll want to be very careful with this. So I'm gonna set this to the side over here and I'm gonna grab my door hanger from this side so that we can get it back in the screen here. Okay, so now we're going to apply our stencil. So our stencil is here and, well, for convenience, I'm gonna trim down this top part just so that I can show you better applying it with the wreath on. Now remember, the wreath is on so that you know where your stencil is gonna go. And I kind of slid my stencil under a little bit. Notice that I can still move this around because I have not applied pressure. So I'm gonna decide where I would like my stencil to go. And if you are a ruler person, get your ruler out right now so you can measure side to side. I generally measure with my hands and I kind of eyeball it. Now this is a swoopy font, so it's a little bit harder to notice if it's not straight, so you're pretty safe with that. I like where it is right here, so I'm gonna take my hands and I'm gonna start in the middle, and then I'm gonna smooth it out, making sure I apply really good pressure to the entire stencil. Some people right now would use a squeegee, a gift card, or a credit card like this to press it down. but we have really great wood. It's smooth, you sanded it, you should be good just applying pressure with your hand. Now you're going to take and you're going to peel off that transfer tape the same way we removed the white backing from before. So I'm going to pull up from the corner and I'm going slow and steady because if any blue comes up, you want to push it right back down. Okay, and once this comes off, that transfer tape is now garbage as well. And I like to ask people to kind of smooth it out with their hands one more time to ensure that it's down. If you got bubbles, just make sure the bubbles are not on the edges of the letters. So you'll push those out. You're now ready to paint. Okay, so I have my color here. You're gonna use your white sponge. You're gonna dab it into the paint like we did before, but this time, I'm gonna use my white paper to show you. You're gonna dab off. So you're gonna load it with paint. So I loaded it with paint. I'm gonna unload onto my paper here, and then I'm going to dab. Less is more. Do very thin coat, like the thickness of tissue paper. Notice how you can still see my pink, and that's okay. And you'll continue on, and we will come back to do a second coat if we need to. Okay, so you're loading, unloading, and really nice thin coats of paint. Thickness of tissue paper. And you're going to just continue dabbing. If you paint back and forth, you run the risk of bleeding paint underneath your stencil, which we will have to take care of afterwards once you peel up your stencil. And you won't really know that you have any bleeding until after you peel it up when it's almost too late. So just remember to do nice thin coats, and wherever you started, by the time you get done, you should be able to go back because it is dry. And you should be able to go back and do your second coat of a nice thin coat once again. So just continue dabbing, making it look the way you want it. This is your project, so this is where you put your spin on it. If you want it to look more rustic, you might not put as much paint on. You might leave it a little bit light in coloration. You might kind of leave it so that there's a little bit of pink showing through or whatever color you have as your base color. But you will just keep dabbing. And then it is fairly dry right now because my coats of paint are so thin. So I'm just gonna go in and dab on these little spots where I notice need a little bit of extra. Okay, and once you are happy with it, we're gonna look at it, give it another look, but then you're going to pull this up sooner rather than later. Okay, so I know that this is the way I want it to look, and I know that it's fairly dry because I did nice thin coats. So I'm gonna start at a corner, and I'm going to pull my stencil gently but firmly off the board. Now I know it's kind of wet, so I want to make sure I keep it up and off my board, and I will put it to the side. Now if you're doing the welcome to our home sign, you're gonna follow my directions from the hello, how we placed it. We placed the wreath on first. You'll want to put one of your larger switch plates on so that it's in the proper spot for you to put your stencil. And you don't even have to, we'll talk about how to do this in a minute. So you don't have to do the Velcro, but you'll just want to place it there so that it's in the correct spot for you to put your stencil if you're doing your switch plate sign. Once this is dry, so I recommend letting it dry now, you'll take an X-Acto knife, or maybe your nails will work, or a tweezers, or some sort of sharper object to pull out the insides of the letters. Okay, these were a stencil, so this part, these insides are not connected, so that's why we have to go back and peel those insides up. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. How cute is this? This looks perfect for your front door. If you're gonna hang it outside where it will be in the direct elements, you'll want to remove this wreath and spray it with clear coat before putting it out there. If you have an awning and the door doesn't really get sunlight or rain or any of those things, you might be okay, but I would really recommend clear coating this for putting it outside for lasting a long time. So you're done. If you did this wreath door hanger, isn't it gorgeous? Your door will look fabulous. Make sure you take a picture and send it to Deck the Halls DIY Studio or tag us on Facebook. We can't wait to see it. I am so excited to know what you all did with your colors. Okay, let's talk about the switch plate door hanger. So if you chose to create this door hanger, like we just said a little bit earlier in our tutorial, you'll put your switch plate down just so you know where your stencil should be applied. Now you could change it and you could do welcome, and then you could cut your stencil apart and put to your home down there and put your switch plate in the middle. This is all up to you and how you want to create this. When you're ready to apply your switch plates with their Velcro attachments that we included, I recommend you start with the one that is less forgiving with where the Velcro spot can go. So if you have the snowflake, I would certainly start with the snowflake because that's where the Velcro is gonna go. Whereas on the cupcake, you have the whole entire back, and on the flower, you have a pretty good space area there for you. So I'm gonna set those aside. And I'm going to talk to you about how you apply your very first switch plate, which will allow you to apply the rest of them. So you'll take 2 Velcros, stick them together like that, and make sure that they make that snap noise. You'll peel off one of the sides, and you'll stick that to your snowflake. Okay, this is the side that is painted. This is the unpainted side. So stick it there. So you'll see that you have the command strip isn't pulled up on this side. It is just stuck down onto the snowflake. Now, you're going to peel this part off. Okay, so you'll peel that part off, and then you're going to arrange where you want it. Once you're happy with a spot, you'll push it down really good, firmly. And then you'll peel back your snowflake, and this part of this Velcro will stay down while the other piece of Velcro will stay attached to your plate, okay? So now I have my Velcro on my door hanger and I have my Velcro on my plate, okay? So that's how we did that part. Now, for future plates, for example, if I wanted to put this one on, I'm going to take the Velcro, another Velcro square, so grab a new one, push it down so you can hear the click onto the Velcro that's on your board, peel up the sticky, so it's sticky, take your switch plate that's completed, push it down to stick it, push it down, give it a good pressure, and then peel it up, and your Velcro will stick to it. You'll repeat this process with all of your switch plates. Now we have a wide variety of switch plates. We have bobbers, we have the flag, we have candy corn. This can also be a watermelon. We have all sorts of options. So you can always extend your collection of switch plates as you go. So you'll just continue to add your Velcro to the spot on your door hanger, peel off the sticky, put the switch plate on, peel it up, grab a new piece of Velcro, put it down, peel up the sticky, put down your switch plate, and peel it up. And that is how you create your switch plate door hanger. We have also taught you how to make your wreath door hanger. So thanks for joining Deck the Halls DIY Studio today. We are so happy that you are creating with us. We love to create with you. Be sure to join us on Facebook, like and follow our Facebook and Instagram page, and please share your DIY projects with us. We love to see what you create.